Hello. This is your King Ginger. I am your DM for Domains of Dread. If we could go around the room and you can introduce yourself, your character, or your current character, and what you remember from our last session, we'll jump right in. So, Warrior, why don't you lead us off?
Oh, all right. I'm Warrior. I play Balder, Furbolg Hexblade Warlock. Last time on Domains of Dread, Balder finally found what he's looking for.
Nate Dog.
I am Nate, your D&D ringer. I am playing Kortosh, the Kalashtar Druid. Basically, right now, I'm investigating all the plants in the quad, and we saw someone familiar, we'll say.
King of the Death Match.
I'm Oren Veit playing Magnol Steelsaw. I'm just hanging out, taking in some higher learning. I'm, broadening my horizons. Nothing crazy, just chilling out, sitting in on a class,
One half of the Married Marks.
I'm Shannon. I play Algalai Rept, aka Ali. She's a tiefling bard from Waterdeep. Unfortunately, I think she's run afoul of some of the local entertainers in town, if I remember correctly, which isn't her fault at all. 100% not her fault. Nothing bad happened at all. It's fine.
Last but not least, my better half.
I'm glad you said better. I don't know if it's true, but I'm glad you said it. I'm Cassandra. I'm playing Roya. She is a Vidalcan princess. And after finally getting a shower in who knows how long, Roya is just happy to be hanging out, and she's just kind of trailing along after people, seeing what she can do to help.
Who were you trailing along with last time at the end of the session, if you don't mind me?
I believe I was with Balder, Kortash, and Magnar. I think we're on the same spot.
Okay, so we pick up first off with Ali, where I believe you were talking to a local constabulary, a Officer Stewart, who had chased off some folks who were accosting you.
Mm-hmm. He was a very nice man.
And he had offered to get you a permit.
Correct.
In order to make it so you would be a legal street performer and wouldn't be accosted by either law enforcement or hopefully not by other ne'er-to-do-wells.
Very specific, salty individuals that appear to live in town that have a real big attitude problem.
Mainly one, Paris Cloister, who he said also dabbles in some organized crime.
It's a good day.
So he offers for you to accompany him to the council house for the city of New Prudence, where he will assist you in expediting that paperwork and getting you your writ immediately.
I'm for it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's road trip it up.
So you head down the avenue, and again, you're seeing kind of New Prudence through the eyes of someone who has walked the City of Splendors, and it's quaint. It doesn't blow you away because you've lived in a city that is absolutely insane. I mean, there's giant statues standing within it, so that come to life. But it's definitely got a sense of hominess. It's less chaotic. There's not a bar brawl out in the streets every 10 steps, or the potential. You don't feel like there's the potential of violence in a fashion that there can be in Waterdeep, or even worse in instead it feels a little bit more highbrow.
Mm.
He does point out some sights to you as you're going down the street, one of which is the University of Lumley, which is a large campus. And as you pass, I would like you to make a perception check, please.
Okay. Wow. That would be a 19.
So you're passing by one of the windows of what looks to be a three-story building made out of extremely nice polished stone. And in the back of this large lecture hall with these windows, you see a familiar figure sitting with his feet up on the chair in front of him, and his arms crossed, but listening intently, excuse me.
Oh no.
You see Magnar
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
in the back of a class.
Just straight up chilling? You just taking in some like freaking theology classes or what, my man? Like
Yeah, you know, as you do. I've got my little notebook. I'm writing in that. I'm just
So-
like, man.
Do you want to go knock on the window? Do you want to go speak to him? Do you just want to pass by like, oh no?
she's definitely, oh god, I'm picturing like, you know, the episode of Doctor Who where they're behind, where it's Donna Noble and the doctor and they're on opposite sides of the glass. Like I think that's exactly what's going to happen. If they lock eyes, she's going to absolutely give him like a
Magnar, make me a perception check.
Not likely. Let me look here. It's 11 plus. Hold on, D&D Beyond. 11 plus 14. 14 is what I got.
You feel like there's something, but you're just so enthralled by the guest speaker.
It's so good.
Yeah, that you're really just kind of don't care at this point. You're just like, oh, oozes. I'm completely fascinated by this.
Oh, yes. Wow. Ooh. There's different kinds? Oh, do tell.
Yes.
Are they going to teach him how to not murder children? Like that'd be nice.
No, that's like a second year course.
Oh, okay. You got it. I see. You got to like
Yeah.
prerequisites. We're good.
Intro into determining children,
Right.
and then intro into murdering children.
Oh.
You've got to take "So You've Murdered Some Children."
Yeah.
So, he does not seem to be alert to your presence.
Okay. She's not gonna go out of her way to like get his attention. But she's definitely like lagging behind.
Constable turns and looks at you and he says, "Miss, do you know that man? He's very odd looking. I've never seen him before. But
I really, you know,
he seems kind of like shocked, like not appalled, but just kind of like, he has cut a very unusual figure."
Do I know him? I really don't. We can keep going. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine.
You just had a very strange look on your face, like you did know him, and yet were shocked at that knowledge.
Oh no. It's well, I mean, look at him. He stands out like a sore thumb. That's all.
He does.
What could you tell me more about this the quad up there? The architecture looks fascinating. I'd love to hear more.
Yes, he just continues to kind of pontificate as
Dope.
as you move on, and you start to hit a point where the quad opens up into a larger courtyard. So Balder, Kortash, and Roya, you have just seen your former handler is walking through this area with a plethora of students, and he seems to be talking as he's walking, not quite dressed the way you remember him in any way, shape, or form. What do you plan on doing?
Balder immediately transforms into a half-orc that's about a foot shorter than he is.
Okay.
And he gestures toward Cortash and Roya. Says, go get Magnar right now. And he makes a beeline toward the group of students. How big is the group of students? Is it like 10, 8, 37?
15. There's 15 students.
Okay. Yeah, he's going to make his way over.
The man you know as Tezzeret seems to be giving some type of discussion or friendly lecture on the idea of interdimensional travel.
Okay.
Roya and Cortash, what are you doing?
Do you know where Magnar went?
I think he told us what class he was going to.
I think we were billing around like near where the classroom was. We were like in the quad by the classroom.
Because I didn't actually go inside. I was just looking at the
you
plants.
didn't. So
I went in. I went inside though, so I would know where he went.
Yep.
So Cortash, go with Balder. I'll go get Magnar.
Are you sure?
Don't leave Balder alone.
All right. I'm going to wild shape. And I should have planned this better. I'm going to wild shape just into a cat.
Meow.
Ow.
And I'm going to follow Balder.
Okay, so Roya, make me an investigation check at advantage.
Ooh, I got a special thing for that. Oh, only added a 1. So that's a 18.
You can easily find the lecture hall that Magnar is in.
Okay. I don't want to be rude and interrupt the class, so I am going to go in front of the door and be like,
Oh, it's not a door with windows. It's like a
is it?
closed door. So you're going to have to go in.
okay, I'm going to go in then as quiet as I can because I don't want to draw too much attention to me, but I know it's going to be hard. I'm blue and yeah.
Okay, make me a stealth check.
Add advantage for no reason other than you like me? Just kidding.
No.
Oh boy.
Not at all.
That's a 5?
Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Throwback.
So
could be worse.
you slide into the room and you make 2 steps and the door slams behind you. And everyone turns and looks at you, including Magnar, who's just like, the instructor stops his lecture and he looks across the hall. May I help you?
I'm so sorry. I need to borrow one of your students real quick. The office needs them.
He looks across at Magnar and he's kind of examining you. He goes, he's not a student. Who are you two?
Me? Oh, I'm just sitting in. I'm a magical, high-ranking wizard of the divination variety. A lot of people know who I am, but it's all right. You clearly had such knowledge to give, and I was so excited.
I know.
But apparently, it gets ruined by my traveling bandmate, adventuring partner.
Kind of looks at you and he says, make me a deception check.
Okay. So that's going to be a 13.
That's not going to be enough. He says, you know,
Shucks.
I travel in many different circles here. I don't know you. Are you class dismissed? And
No!
They sort of start to mill out and he makes his way up.
There was so much knowledge. Everybody stay.
He's a large half-orc, finely dressed, tweed jacket, big sideburns, his tusks filed down to a sharp point, but smaller. He says, "You're not with them, are you?"
Who?
Cult of Magnamator.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never heard of that.
I know that they've been trying to steal my research.
Who? That's not what I'm here for. I was here to actually learn something.
And I know that they know where the mind is in the tunnels below.
Damn them. We need to do something to stop these guys.
Who
I don't-
are you?
I am Magnar, Steel Saw. I am not from here. I am.
Obviously. And then he looks right at Roya as well.
Yeah,
Obviously,
she
neither of you are from here.
doesn't have tact like I do. You think as a princess she would, but apparently things go a little differently in this realm. But no, we're not from here. I was just here taking in some classes. We're here looking for someone, I guess.
Who are you looking for?
He's a
I'm gonna interrupt
Big
him as
dragon
much as it
guy.
make a big noise and be like, we need to go right
So
now.
back in the quad,
no.
you infiltrate into the back of the surrounding pack. Ali, please make me a perception check.
With pleasure. That is a 21.
You catch, just as you're walking by, the shape of Balder changing, and he is now a half-orc. And you just notice it because he's so large. And turning into a half-orc is actually him shrinking. And that catches your eye because it seems unusual, and he's kind of integrated himself into a crowd of students. That's when you catch who he's following. Now, you don't know much about this character. You've heard him mentioned in your travels by your companions, but you quite easily identify him by the fact that he has one of his limbs on his upper body is made out of what looks like to be some type of liquid metal. It's elongated fingers, and he's wearing very fine dress, but it seems almost like it's, I guess the best word I can think of is like a dashiki. So he has a lot of freedom of movement with his hands. And he can also, seems like he can put his arms together and sort of hide them. But right now he's gesticulating with that hand. And it seems to just have this, he draws rapt attention from everyone around him. And you can see Balder making his way through this crowd that he's speaking to.
She's gonna kind of like stop in her tracks a little, like she'll slow and just kind of stop. And
Constable Stewart stops with you and he says, he does definitely cast an impression. He's only been here a few months, but everyone knows Professor Tez. He said he was a traveler, that he has walked between planes. I don't quite understand all of it. It's a little bit further higher up education-wise than I have, but he's an interesting man. He is spoken to the council people of New Prudence at length and was brought in to be an instructor.
interesting. What does he teach?
Some sort of advanced spell casting, as well as I think it's called theoretical physics. Again, I apologize for my ignorance, but I'm not the most learned man.
No. It completely understandable. It's a complicated. Seems complex.
but he speaks at length. He's even held lectures of his story for those paying customers about his experiences as he's walked between worlds, as he said. And most of the time, someone like that would be sent to the asylum, but he's clearly not mortal, and he's clearly not a normal hedge wizard or caster. He is something else.
Intriguing. Is there a reason? I'm curious. Is it purely because he's well spoken or well educated that he isn't sent to the asylum? Is that standard procedure here?
Well, he had a reasonable amount of wealth when he came here, but he's a learned individual. He made some connections to higher ups in the city council, and his educational background it blew people away. Dr. Alcom, as well as Professor Robert, they were just fascinated by the stories he would tell. And I mean, he has an arm that is magic, so I've been told. I've never met the man in person. I've only heard bits and pieces of stories of him. But he's been an ideal citizen here.
Intriguing. She's trying to figure out if she wants it. She's very, Balder is doing her a concern. Could I ask one quick question? I'm so sorry. I have this something urgent that needs to be taken care of. It's well, this is going to sound embarrassing, but it's discreet.
Oh, my apologies. He pulls out a card and he gives it to you, and he says, I am actually off shift, and I will be at the council building writing my report over your run-in with Ms. Cloyster. I should be there for a few hours, and if you have time and feel willing, you can find me there, and we can discuss further the paperwork that you need.
Of course, that would be fantastic.
I'll have a rough draft written up. I'll have it seen over by council person Phineas Sterling, and hopefully he'll deem it to be signed. We have a good relationship, so hopefully I can pull a few strings for you, and from there you just have to pick it up, and hopefully you won't be harassed going forward.
Well, you're an absolute darling of an individual. Thank you, and it's been truly wonderful. I hope we get the chance to talk again.
Welcome to New Prudence, Miss.
Thank you.
He clicks his heels together, bows his head, and walks on, twirling his baton.
She's going to wait until he gets like a good 10 feet away and just stand there and smile. The second she is running for Baldur's.
So, Balder, you are hearing all this, and
Yep.
It is pretty mesmerizing. He is definitely referring to walking between planes, and additionally Ravnica, but he doesn't ever name it by name. Cataclysmic events going on that precipitated him falling into this particular dimension, not by his choice, but that he's found it very welcoming and enticing. And he seems very gracious to everyone around. He's speaking with his kind of mechanical or metal arm, and at the same time kind of slowly thumbing this brooch around his neck.
Is anything about him different? Like, did he always have the arm? Did he always have the brooch?
Yes, he always had the arm. The brooch you don't recall, but he's always had kind of a very specific look.
Mm-hmm.
He's very dark of skin. He's got dreadlocks. At this point, they're tied up in the back. but his right arm ends just above the elbow, and then there's this elongated form of a metal arm that looks like shifting metal bones with three fingers and a thumb, and they're like 3 times as long as a normal hand, and they generally always seem to be crackling with a purple aura.
So this seems more like it's sort of a formal walk and talk style lecture than just after class schmoozing.
This actually seems more like after class schmoozing.
Oh, great. Perfect. Balder will scratch the kitty behind the ears, and then he'll and then he'll just
Nate can have an inspiration.
and then he'll just turn to he's sort of in the back of the pack. Just turn to the person next to him and just be like, "Hey, this guy is amazing. Who is this guy?"
That's Professor Tezzeret.
Oh,
I've never
okay.
seen you, but who are you?
Oh, I'm Gronk.
Gronk.
Yep.
Taylor, it's a pleasure to meet you. What are you studying, Gronk?
Not sure yet. Sort of feeling it out. I just got here, new to the campus. So just sort of feeling it out. But this seems really interesting.
I originally, well, I didn't, but originally my parents, they really wanted me to attend the College of Al Hazarad, but I just felt like this was a better fit for me, especially since there seems to be a lot of crossover between faculty. I don't know if you're into naturalism and aberration, but Bastian Block was here earlier today, and he was giving lectures
Really?
on his study of oozes and the species and how many live beneath the city and what they do for our ecology. And it was, I caught the earlier presentation just because I had classes this afternoon, but he is absolutely fascinating. I'm not sure how they got him to leave the College of Al Hazarad to do these lectures, since he is he generally works there, but interesting. So I think I like the less stuffy, more liberal environment of the University of Lumley. So yes.
Yeah, for sure, totally. I feel like that. My dad's an alumni, so just sort of, a little bit of pressure there.
Did he study with Dr. Armitage?
Sure.
Yes, I have Dr. Armitage for a lecture class, and he's fascinating. That man has seen so much. Did your father ever tell you that it's rumored that he knew Rudolf von Richthofen?
No, I don't think he ever told me that. You know how college stories are.
Yeah, of course. I'm sorry. We should just be listening. This is.
Yeah. No. Thanks.
I apologize.
Yep.
He perks up and starts listening and writing again. So while you two are doing that, Magnar, Roya.
I'm going to try to interrupt him from dropping any names or anything. Make a big hey, yeah, we really need to get going. We have a friend that showed up that we need to go visit.
We're looking for Tezzeret, the guy.
He narrows his eyes. I know Professor Tezzeret. Why would you be looking for him?
Hey,
Because
Magnar.
he tried
Magnar.
to kill us.
He kind of half smiles. He's like, I knew it. No one would listen to me.
You get it, right? I'm assuming you don't like it. I'm assuming you don't like this guy either, eh?
I've always felt that he was up to something.
Because he is.
I figured it was simply that he was in league with. And Jimmy looks around, like he's checking if anyone's listening to the cult of Magnamator and the great solitary mind. But I've always felt like he is manipulating things. And also, who allows someone to teach who has no background, who didn't graduate, who has no papers, who has no way to prove themselves, and just somehow mysteriously is given full professorship at a prestigious university? I have to do so much just to be recognized for my greatness. I risk my life when I go into those tunnels every single time, not just for the university, both universities, but also for
I
knowledge
grab him
itself.
and like take him like, hey.
He's a big dude. He's like very muscular. You notice when you grab him, and he kind of stops for a second. He kind of closes his eyes, takes a deep breath. I'm sorry. I apologize. It burns me that I've done so much, but treated as so little.
Oh, trust me. I get it.
He looks you up and down.
Roy.
He looks both of you up and down, and he kind of, as he does, you can see him look at his own hands, and he kind of pulls them back in, and almost like he's hiding them in his pockets. And he kind of goes, "I bet you do understand. Both of you understand where I'm coming from."
Trust me, we do, and especially with this guy, he's known for doing shady things, and the fact that he would just show up here and get a class to teach any recollection of anything. Something's up.
He's damn near on the city council at this point. They're so in bed with him over every little thing. Go back to the College Valhalla.
Well,
you know how many people I've had sign up for this lecture when I agreed to do it for Dr. Armitage because we're colleagues, and he's shared multiple volumes of information on aberrations with me. But for the gall for me to come here and do this as a favor, and for that gallivanting jackass to parade around with his group of sycophants as he espouses things he can't even prove. Disgusting.
Agreed.
The man has no professional courtesy.
Never has. Let me tell you, as somebody who's known him for a very long time, he's got none.
Where do you know him from? And he looks at Roya again. He kind of looks at. You are the oddest looking Goliath I've ever seen. And I don't know who you are. Are you cursed, or I've never seen someone like you before? And not to be rude, but I've had to travel on the outskirts of society most of my life. And he kind of holds his hands out again and kind of with this look of, I'm not human.
But, okay, I'm explained due to the fact that I'm just so handsome. You don't normally see handsome Goliaths that way. I get it. Roya is
odd reversed pigment you have, which I find
no.
But I figured you might be from a tribe that just has lived in the night below for so long and has taken on different countenance, and it's a survival mechanism by a people, which is fascinating in itself. But he just said was royalty of some, look like no one I've ever seen before.
That's because I'm sure you've not seen anyone like me around here.
Are you Genasi? I've never met Genasi, but I've read volumes on their culture.
No, but you could probably say we're similar-ish.
Fascinating. and you know that Professor Tezzeret, or Professor Tezzeret.
Yes, we know him.
How? Because you're not from here, and if you say you're from somewhere else, outside Derelith, he claims to have walked between worlds.
Same.
He kind of looks taken aback, and he kind of steps back a couple steps and says, so that's true.
Yeah. I don't know how we did it, but we did it. And normally, like the great, but
He covers his mouth, and he just looks. Make me an insight check.
Both.
Both of you, please.
oh, natural 20. Wow.
Good, because I didn't do well. I got a 5, so.
Okay, so you're like, this guy's freaking out. Magnar, you notice that there seems to be kind of this moment where he has a fundamental understanding that all the things he was discounting as being a false narrative and being just flat out lies are true. And that for someone who thinks analytically, and as you know, works in the field of science or in teaching, he's now confronted with something that he can't quite wrap his head around.
Dude. Right. It's crazy.
Yes.
And we still haven't even really figured out, to be honest. At least I don't think so. We might have, but I might have been doing my own thing. But I'm pretty positive we did not figure out how the frick this happened.
While you're talking, he's like mumbling. He has his head down. He's kind of mumbling like he's almost doing.
Hey, right here. You and me, right here. We're in the moment.
The solitary mind. How does it fit together? If he came here and they are beneath the city, and he's
oh, but
fear
don't raise your voice.
He leans forward to both of you and says, I fear this revelation has put us all in great danger.
Dude, you don't know the half of it. We've been in danger literally this whole time.
So then we go back out. We go back outside. Allie, you're making your way across the courtyard. You're kind of directly headed towards where Professor Tezzeret is lecturing this small group of people, and you can see Balder. And make me a perception check at disadvantage.
Oh, okay. That's a nat 1.
You're just focused on, oh crap. You know, the shape-changed Balder is slowly, making his way with strange intent in his eyes through this crowd.
She's looking at him and she's like, that seems like a guy I can trust.
So you make your way, you're coming at one end, he's coming through the crowd at the other end. Cortash, what are you doing? Kitty Cortash.
So I'm just kind of following behind, trying to stay out of sight of Tezzeret, because I'm pretty sure he'd probably figure something out.
Make me a image.
Okay, let's see.
Recap. To not get stepped on. Since the crowd is far more attentive to what's being said than what's between their legs, walking on the ground.
So that's a natural 20.
So yeah, you're a cat. You could give a shit about all these people, and what you want.
It's true.
Also, you're very, very slinky. All right, Balder, make me a perception check.
Okay. That's okay. 16.
As you're kind of focused in on and slowly making your way forward, you do catch Allie walking towards you, towards your group. And she looks a little like, this may not end well.
She looks like I would expect her to look if she saw me change and beeline across a courtyard.
So what are you doing next, Balder?
Balder, so are they, so does it seem like they're moving toward any kind of destination, or is it?
They seem to be moving towards the building that is kitty corner from the building that Magnar went into.
Okay. He'll mostly listen. He's just trying to blend in at the moment. If there are any kinds of Roya saw what way they were headed. So if they make a turn, Balder will use prestidigitation to make a mark on the ground, like an arrow with the Izzet League symbol in it.
Okay.
Just on the ground, kind of pointing. He can do it 3 times, so.
Okay.
Before
Perfect.
one disappears, so.
Do you want to continue to kind of move through the small crowd towards him?
Yeah, he'll move up kind of middle-ish. Sure. He changed his clothes to sort of look like, is there like a uniform, or are they just, or just to be in line with what everyone else is wearing? He doesn't particularly want to stand out.
Male and female students across the small amount of races that are look to be the students that you're seeing in this crowd.
Mm-hmm.
They're all wearing white shirts with black jackets and black pants. The younger, and this regardless of gender, they're all dressed similarly. They all have very thin ties. And make me a perception check. Actually, Cortash can make it at disadvantage as well.
Natural 20.
And of course, I'm muted, so that is 12. Nope, 10 at disadvantage.
Cortash doesn't catch it, but you do. The vast majority of these students seem to have a circular pen, and it looks like an M on the top and an M facing downwards. And you don't quite catch it at first that they're letters, but then, because you have a good eye for these things, you realize that it's 2 M's, one facing up and one facing down. So it almost looks like a W, but you're like, oh, that doesn't have quite the shape of a W. That is an M. Also, Tezzeret is the same pen.
Okay. So does Balder.
You're like, beep.
It's like, boop.
So he moves towards that building and the large steps and statues that are there on the end of the, they're not even railings, they're like, I can't think what they'd be called. They're like stone, full stone railings, and they have like large sculptures on them. And he sets up beside one of the sculptures, and he's still kind of giving this impromptu lecture, and people just kind of start to sit down around him. And he begins to talk about the only way for you to really unlock your potential, the potential all of us have, the potential I possess, to cross the great expanses of space merely at a whim, to walk between the veil of worlds. You merely have to open yourself up to that possibility, to extend your mind, to be willing to exchange these ideas beyond the spoken word, and to live merely in thought. Everyone you notice who's wearing a pin is just kind of like, yeah, that's true.
That sounds great, man.
The three people in this little crowd that aren't are kind of they're looking, and you can see the wheels turning, like, oh man, he has a point here. And he reaches his metal arm out, and it changes, his hand changes, and the fingers kind of break apart into all these little, what look like spheroids, and they're spinning. As you well know, being from Ravnica and being very educated, he's showing like a solar system with his hands. And with his other hand, he's pointing, like he's talking about there's magical ley lines between worlds, and people who have opened themselves up and who've found themselves dedicated to something more than themselves, you can accumulate enough power. You can Cortash, you are sitting at the outside of the group now, but you're able to hear all of this as well.
Good. Does any of this sound familiar? The sorts of lines he might have used on us.
No.
Okay.
When he spoke to you guys, it was all about political dissidence and your dissatisfaction with the status quo.
Sure.
And how each of you were. Hey.
Hey.
So you remember on Ravnica that he was very, very what each of you felt strongly about and playing to that. And at the time, you didn't feel like you were being coerced into anything. In fact, you're still not sure you were coerced because you did a lot of that of your own volition. But there's something about the way he speaks that definitely feels like it draws you in, and that it potentially, there's something potentially magical about that. Allie, do you want to come up into this group, or do you want to stay outside of it?
I'm going to come up into the group.
So you're catching some of this lecture, and you definitely don't look dressed like a student. And you're hearing him talk about what essentially you know to be a spell called Plane Shift. But the way he talks about it is very different. As if it's not something that can regularly occur. Whereas you know that most wizards who spend time and gain enough power can cast that spell. In fact, Waterdeep is sick with wizards that can do that.
Right.
There's usually one about every 5 corners in the Forgotten Realms. Why they don't stop a lot of the other stuff, you're not sure, but
don't worry about it.
Yeah. They're like, you second level adventurers can surely take care of these problems. I'll be power.
Peace.
Yeah. Fucking Elemenster. Don't get me started on the Forgotten Realms. He's talking about it, and I would like you to make an insight check.
Insight. Okay. That's going to be... Ooh, not good. 11.
He's very enthralling as a speaker. You find yourself kind of very interested in everything he has to say. There is a small part of you that definitely feels like the bard part of you kind of feels that little bit of a game being played.
Right.
But the person interested in magic and the person that finds themselves here in the domains, and Derelith in particular, and he's talking about like being able to free yourself and walk, between the veils of worlds, you're enthralled by it. You're just like, this person is fascinating. So you are there listening, and he's like talking, he turns, looks, he goes, we have a new listener. You are very strangely dressed to be on campus. Tell me, are you here to learn more about how you can unlock your power and how you can free your inner self?
I was performing, as a matter of fact, and was making my way through the quad to attend some business. So that's why I'm dressed the way that I am.
Performer. All of you understand that some of you may look down your noses at a performer, but the bardic talents should never be discounted. There is magic in songs. There is magic in dance. There is magic in the written word. And there is magic in your voice. Magic permeates everything. We live with its energy wrapped around us all the time. And if you cannot see that, you will never be able to unlock your full potential. I myself, and again, his hand comes back from being that kind of solar system into a hand, and he closes it, and it just glows with this radiant purple. I myself sacrificed my limb in order to show my devotion to the arcane arts. I myself am magic. Tell me, young lady, do you simply perform, or are you rote in instilling your art with magic?
That's a fairly deep hypothetical question for
This world is a classroom. We are all in class learning all the time. So tell me, have you opened your mind to the potential of what you do as actual arcane energy?
I sure.
Play then. Show us your skill. Show us your magic. Let all of us learn from what you're doing.
I really want to show this asshole up.
Make me an insight check.
An insight check? Okay. That would be a 19.
There is no malice or kind of talking down to you that he's doing. He actually wants you to play, because what he's saying, he actually believes.
Okay.
So he's like trying to get the students to buy into the fact that, bardic magic has merit.
Sure.
And it's just as powerful in its own way. So it isn't like condescending in any way. He's trying to draw you into this conversation.
Okay, it's yeah, I get it. It's more like she was looking at it like, okay, here we go. Oh, captain, my captain. Yeah. I get it.
No, it is like it is basically someone asking you to guest lecture in an impromptu lecture.
Okay. Should I make like a performance check for this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to use any type of arcane effects.
Oh yeah. Well, she's definitely going to just do her best to she's gonna pull out her violin. And
so while you begin to play, Roya and Magnar, you're talking still to Bestian Block, and he says, "Do you have proof?"
Of
all of this, that you've all traveled between worlds, that you've left this hellish place.
Look at us.
I mean, I don't disagree with what you're showing me, but and that Professor Tezzeret is the scoundrel you claim him to be.
I don't know, Roya. I'm gonna fact check here with my fact checker, Roya.
We don't probably have a lot of physical evidence on hand. We know what we've been through.
He looks at you both and he looks down and says, and he looks completely crestfallen.
Now that's not to say that maybe some companions might not, because we're not the only two.
It's not just us, baby. There's more of us.
I see. Perhaps we can talk further about this.
Yeah. Do you want to get like a nightcap later? What are you thinking? What's the plan?
I would suggest we meet up later. Maybe we can bring some more of our companions.
Where are you staying? You obviously aren't from here, and you just arrived.
I would much rather meet you somewhere where you're staying.
If that's okay with you.
He kind of laughs and he's like, I am just a lowly teacher. I don't have the accommodations for all of us to sit in my home as I make you what little food and drink I do have. I spend most of my time, in all honesty, in the Undercity.
We can bring food and drink, but
yeah.
I'd rather not. We're not staying on a place of our own, so I'd rather not give out.
Where are you staying?
I'd rather not share.
Oh, well,
And
fair enough.
and for
You
once,
know,
I'm gonna.
you know
I'm gonna
how dangerous he is. We need to protect the people that are near us.
Let me see if I can arrange to have you meet with my mentor, Dr. Arkham, at his estate. How should I be able to get a hold of you?
call me, beat me if you want to reach me. You could just you could just send me a message.
I'll
Drop me a DM.
slide into those DMs. Oh man, my webcam got all weird.
It's out of focus.
I know. I
You
don't know
gotta-
why.
You gotta do that.
Just so I can show you Griffin and Justin.
Yeah. They're rather distracting behind you, to be honest.
I think it's perfect. Perfection. Chef's kiss. Mwah.
Well, let me see if this will help.
You're real fuzzy.
I am real
You're-
fast.
oh, there you go.
There you go.
You're
There you go.
You're
Don't
there.
don't
You're
know
there.
what you did, but
Better.
that's not helping. Whatever that is back there too.
It's Banana Griffin.
So bad.
That one creeps me out.
We ate a banana with the skin on.
It's real creepy. I don't like
so
it.
bad.
This tastes horrible. All right. Anyway,
Is there?
is there a way that you or I shouldn't say both, you, Magnar, claim to be a caster of some ability. Is there a way you can reach out to me?
That's a good question. Sometimes when you're so powerful, you forget about all the powers that you have. You probably know as somebody. Yeah. Ooh. I mean, can you stay within 120 feet of me?
How about we arrange a place to meet later tonight, and then if we just say hi, fine. If we can go meet somewhere else after that, that'd be great.
The corner of the quad to the south, there is a stop for carriages. It's a small shelter. I'm assuming you walked by it. We could meet there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
What time?
8 bells.
Yes. Of course.
The sun will just be setting. We can get a carriage, and we can either go to my mentors or I know a few other quiet establishments.
Sounds great.
I'm in if Roy is in.
Well, we should. We really need to go handle something. Magnar, Balder really needs us.
What's going on?
He'll put his hand out to both of you, one at a time.
Oh, like shake.
He shakes Magnar's hand, and then he leans down and kisses Roy's hand and says, "Your Grace."
She's slightly flattered, just a
Just slightly.
I'm flattered.
Then he goes back up towards the lectern and he grabs a pile of his books and he nods to you both as he leaves through the back.
I'm gonna grab Balder's hand and drag him out of the room. We need to go. And then on the way, I'm gonna explain what's going on.
Okay.
The fact that we've seen Tezzeret, but either Balder's gonna need us or he's gonna need assistance or something. I don't know. It's not good.
So you start to leave the building and you can see across the quad Tezzeret sitting on this by a statue while everyone else, there's a lot of people sitting around him. You don't see Balder or Cortash anywhere, but you do see Allie getting ready to play.
I'm gonna disguise myself
Okay, what are you disguising yourself as?
as a little red goblin boy.
Can you make yourself that small?
I mean, I could be like a hobgoblin, like a big, tall goblin.
Yeah, goblins. Small. Yeah, hobgoblins. You could do that.
Inconspicuous.
Yeah, hobgoblins.
Look, man.
I
like it.
can make myself a
man.
foot shorter.
I know, or still tall.
I'm just a 6 foot tall hobgoblin.
Which that's fine.
I think I asked for an outfit that had like a hat or a hood, right?
Yeah, you had one with a hood.
I'm gonna try to like drop collar and try to cover up as much as I can.
Magnard, have you changed your dress at all?
I'm wearing like a suit vest and like some like corduroy pants with like some like buckled boots. I look real fancy. I got like a pocket watch.
And you're a hobgoblin?
Yeah.
I dig it a lot.
I like the hobgoblin dandy. That's
Yeah.
I do it.
It's very good.
His mother goes, it's too cold. Too cold from Grandma Battlesby blood. All right, so you guys start making your way over. Allie, what are you playing? How are you doing it? And then make me a performance check.
Well, I guess my first question is, would she see the others approaching as she was getting ready to play?
No. And
Okay.
the reason why is, again, this person is kind of verbally has your attention and focus.
Sure. Yeah, then her goal is to just play the very best that she can. She wants to take out her violin and she's gonna drag it out, have a nice slow moment before she starts.
So tell me what kind of song you're playing. Is it fast and upbeat, or is it like a slow dirge, or is it a love song? What is it?
Unplugged.
It would start very, very quick and like very impressive for just a very short amount of time, and then it would move into something very slow that builds, like very, very Ennio Morricone-esque. Just something really pretty. Start really fast and impressive, and then get really lush.
You have an inspiration for that reference.
Hey.
Hey.
So make me a performance check.
Okay.
Now, what you can do is, are you using any type of arcane magic in order to give this a flourish?
Trying to think. It might be kind of interesting. Oh. Can I use, you know what? I want to use thaumaturgy.
Perfect.
Specifically to just create some kind of very like physical reaction. Maybe the ground shifts a little as she plays, and people like feel like when they think there's like a rumbling, they feel it in their soul. It's actually because the ground is like slightly vibrating underneath them.
Awesome. So what is your better score, performance or arcana?
Performance.
Okay. You can roll your performance at advantage.
Okay, awesome. Dope. 23.
So right off the bat, this wave of intense musical energy is, everyone goes from kind of not disinterest, but skepticism based upon what he was saying, and then, inviting this person off the streets, basically. These people are like haughty students, and immediately you grab their attention. And there is a palpable sense of energy in the air, and it's not just because of the music. It is partially because of this arcane output you're giving. Please make me another roll at advantage.
Okay.
You go through that first like stanza of music, and it is explosive.
That's going to be 25.
So you hit the second, and you start to slow down, and you realize that some of them are so drawn in that they've moved up. They're setting literally up, like almost going from sitting Indian style to being on their knees. They're just cross-legged to almost rising. There is a sense of emotional resonance in what you're playing that has grabbed everyone. I would like Kortash and Balder to make a will saving throw, and then I would like Roya and Magnar as they come up to make one at advantage.
All right, I'm going to use my reaction to do that at advantage.
Yep.
So it's a wisdom save?
Yes, please.
8.
Balder, you've heard Ali play before,
Mhm.
but there's something about what she's playing now, and you feel your blood boiling. Like you're so close to Tezzeret, you can smell him. You can smell, all of Ravnica on him, and you can just feel how incensed you're becoming. Like your knuckles are so in your hands, you look down and you've created little divots of blood in your palms. Cortash, what did you get?
18.
Your kitty catness is like circling and purring. Roya Magnar, what'd you get?
18.
Magnar, what'd you get, Roya?
30-20.
Very nice. So both of you are walking forward and you hear Ali playing and you can feel that energy. And in fact, from afar, you can almost see a wave of soft arcane light emanating from her. You can feel what feels like the ground even slightly rumbling beneath your feet. As you were going over, you could feel that it was a lot more urgent and staccato, and now it's moving with this elegance that brings just a pounding to your chest,
Just
in a positive way. But it also makes you want to get closer to this. So, Ali, you go into kind of your finale here. Make me one more roll at advantage.
That is a 23. Damn. Every other roll I've made today is garbage, but this is rocking.
So you are in that kind of slow, cathartic moment, and then you actually stop. You raise your bow, and then tell me what the finale is like.
A soft but very like prominent rumble of thunder that just echoes through the entire commons.
So you hit that, and then it's this flourish at the end, and it is like this rumbling of thunder. Everyone make me a perception check, except for Balder makes it disadvantage.
Oh, man.
You're
Me included, or am I exempt from this?
Hey, my first roll's
no,
really
you're
good,
just
too.
too into what you're doing.
Okay, so
It's 5.
ooh,
You're just like
It was 20.
You're like, I'm gonna strangle that mofo with my bare hands. Cortash, kitty cat
8.
census.
8. Yeah.
I'm gonna lick my butt.
Oh.
I got a 15.
You kind of look up, and you don't know if Ali's doing it or not, but there are literal storm clouds above, and they are not arcana energy. This is something else. Magnar,
18.
same thing. You're seeing this, and you're like, the rest of it, I can figure out how she's doing it. Like I get the spells, or get what she's doing. That I don't get. Like that's strange, and coming from me, that means it's real weird.
It's like the best Dixie Chick song I've ever heard.
hey, they're just the chicks now, all right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they changed their name.
Okay, fair. The best chick song I've ever heard.
That's solid. So, Ali, you wrap up, and there's this burst of thunder. Balder, you don't know how you got there, but you are literally on your feet, and you can feel this, like you're drawn to just like taking that extra 7 steps and just unleashing.
Can I see that he's kind of getting ready to do that and kind of go between his legs, or no?
You're licking your behind there.
Yeah, you're too busy cleaning up
He's
back
cleaning
there.
Can I see that?
Yes, but
Everyone's like,
What?
Cortez is licking his own butt.
you're like tunnel visioned in on Tezzeret at this point, and once the song ends, you like snap back to, and you notice that you're not alone. There are, out of the 10, there's probably 7 other students who are standing. Some of them are have tears in their eyes, and then they all just start clapping. So Tezzeret hasn't looked to see you. He's simply been watching Allie play and slowly touching the brooch. And once you finish, he jumps up and stands where he was sitting and leans against the statue and uproariously applauds. And he says, "That is what magic is." All of you felt that, all of you, and felt one with what was going on. You were a part of her magic, and it made you better for it. One magic, one great cause, and all of you contributed your energy to that. And she manifested it, and he looks up and it starts to just drop rain and lightning, and just a little bit of lightning in the background and a soft rumble of thunder. And that you should ponder. That is magic. He says, "Please, please, please take a bow. You more than deserve it."
Yeah, she'll bow. She'll flourish the hell out of that. Like,
So, like, the students move from him over to you, and they're just getting bombarded with questions and people trying to shake your hand, and they're visibly moved by what you did. A couple of them even ask you, "You performed. Should we pay you?" They are just like, they're just.
I mean, I won't say no.
They're not sure what to say because they don't want to insult you, because they're just so enraptured by what you just did, but they feel like they need to.
It's accepted, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
tips are absolutely accepted. Not necessary, of course, but yes. I mean, if as a musician, who am I to say no?
Roll me a 20-sider 3 times and add it all together.
Oh God.
In the commotion of the applause and everyone moving around, can I get to Baldur?
You can get close.
I want to get as close as I can.
You're about within 10 feet.
Okay.
21.
Between these 8 to 10 students who are fawning over you, you get a 21 gold coins out of it.
Hey.
A few of them are, and a few of them, like, my parents are wealthy, and they would definitely, be interested. I'm going to contact them and see about being a patron for you. I mean, this was enlightening beyond being entertaining. I've never seen a bard be able to perform like that before. You're kind of drowning in that currently, so you're unable to get a good look at what's going on with everyone.
Damn.
So, Baldur, what are you doing?
Seething, mostly.
Burning inside with the rage of 1,000 exploding suns.
What is the crowd doing? So the crowd
They
is
dispersed. Tezzeret is leaning against the statue, standing, kind of watching them. And then out of the corner of you can see at the corner of his eye, he's looking at your little group apart. You, a cat, and then 2 people walking down towards him, because everyone else in his little group has moved over to talk to Allie.
Baldur will walk up to Tezzeret.
He jumps down onto the steps. He's about 2 steps higher than you. And he kind of looks at you through kind of wondering eyes. And he says, "Do we know one another?"
I think we might.
"I can feel you even from this short distance. Something about your energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's very familiar."
I think you'd be surprised. Can we have a word?
"You're not who you appear to be."
Maybe. Why don't we go find out somewhere more private?
There was a small coffee shop across the street from this hallowed hall of learning. Perhaps we can share a beverage and have a discussion.
I think that's going to work for me. You have an office.
I'm not going to invite you into my office when you won't show me your true face.
I'll show you my true face. You
You're
show
into
me
it?
your office.
I don't think so.
Balder, well, can you with disguise self can you adjust parts of it? Can he make his signet ring appear?
I'll say yeah. I mean, I don't have a problem.
Okay.
with that.
It's flashing.
You flashing goes. He just smiles and he says, "A friendly face. How about we have that coffee and we can discuss it there?"
Mm,
And he walks by you and starts to walk.
as he walks by, Balder puts his hand up on his chest. Says,
On his, he says, "We don't have to have a negative experience here.
I agree.
We can have a very fruitful conversation and figure out how to benefit one another. Because I think it's obvious you don't want to be here, and I don't either."
Mm,
And since we're not on Ravnica, either of us, I think we can be mutually beneficial again. Because I'm not sure which one you are, but I have a good idea. So rather than us spilling blood and putting all of us in vast danger in this burb, we should talk about how we can leave this plane.
Balder's blood is still boiling pretty good.
Yeah, you're definitely not happy. Make me a insight check, please.
Okay. Scott. That's pretty good. 19.
He's not lying. There's no malice or trickery. It is literally like, let's sit down and negotiate.
Okay.
So he walks and he kind of skirts around where Allie and that group are. And he does it in a fashion where no one even notices that he's walked away. And you're not sure how he did that, but he just pieces out, walks across the street, and there is a small bistro. When he comes in, is everyone following, or is it just Balder? I assume Cortash is slowly from a distance. Magnar and Roya, what are you doing?
Did we hear that?
No. Roya maybe caught bits and pieces of it. In fact, Roya, make me a investigation check.
$19.
You caught enough of it to know that they're headed across the street, and you know enough by Balder's body language, he's not happy, but you also can tell don't look like they're just going to go across the street and start murderizing one another.
I will keep my distance. I'm going to follow, but keep my distance and try to. I think everyone should be able to tell where I'm going. They know what I walked out wearing, so.
Okay.
Balder, while they're walking, if we assume Balder's behind him a little bit, he's
just walking in front by about.
Balder's gonna mage armor himself.
Okay. At this point, I'd like everyone to make me a perception check.
That would be a 5.
Well, you are real distracted right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fawning going on.
I don't know why I couldn't do this during my wisdom checks, but that's a natural 20.
That's 2 natural 20s.
It is.
So you
Oh, no.
notice? Oh,
like currently. I'm like, yeah, I fucking rolled 2 natural 20s.
Magnar, what'd you get?
8.
You're like, what's going on?
What?
Roya, what did you get?
6.
Roy's also like, we should follow them.
I'm
from a
just,
safe
I'm
distance."
just, I know, I'm just distracted by seeing only Baldar and where he's going.
So anyone who rolled over a 15, which is just 2 of you, you notice there's these small, about the size of my fist, mechanical bugs that are on the periphery of the area. Make me a history check.
Who?
The 2 who made their perception checks.
13.
18.
So one thing you do know about Tezzeret is that he is an accomplished artificer.
How close are they? Are they like...
They just appear to be like hiding amongst the gargoyles on the top of the building, also on the edge of the quad.
Do they
Just
seem
that
to
you
be
just
tracking his do they move at all, or...
just watching. They don't. They stay a relative distance away.
So looking at the bistro, or the bistro, coffee shop, whatever, is it like, is the door open? Does it look like there's people inside?
There's barely anyone in there. When he comes in, they're like, "Professor, and we'll have your normal ready for you momentarily." And he holds the door open for you to walk through. And he looks at you and he says, What delicacy would you like to try?"
What's on the menu?
"Anything you'd like."
Okay, because like everything I've eaten here is like bloody pumpkins and shit. So I
don't know. Robin served.
No, Robin had good stew. But
Robin.
okay, something that isn't stew.
How about, I know just the thing. And he walks over. He says, Gerald. And he whispers in his ear and points a thumb over at you. And you can see both of them smile. And he says, and do it just as I've shown you. And he goes back over and sits down across from you. And he says, when I first arrived here, I found a lot of the food almost unpalatable, far too rustic for my taste. Having come from Kaladesh, Ravnica, Zendikar. So I took some time to teach Gerald some of my favorite dishes from Ravnica. So a small taste of your home. About 20 minutes pass. I don't know when I have any conversation in between there, but you're brought out this 1 foot by a half foot dish that's covered, and a small mug of a swirling drink that has got a foam on top, and the smell hits you, and it just smells very familiar. So,
how long's it been, would you say, roughly in total, since he saw Tezzeret? I ask because disguise self lasts for an hour.
You're not sure because time doesn't pass the same for everyone here.
Mm-hmm.
And he makes it sound like he's been here a while. So you're not honestly sure, and you're not sure for him if it's been like a day since he's seen you, but it's been a long time here. Or
Oh no, sorry. I mean, like literally, like since he saw him in the quad, like.
Maybe 20 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, he'll keep it up then.
So do you say anything while you wait for food and drink?
Yeah, it's
What do you converse about?
he's just like, what do you got?
Well, I'm not sure. Be more specific about your interest.
I mean, you wanted to talk. What do you want to talk?
Well, I feel as if we could benefit one another. That I can assist you and you can assist me to leave this place, this prison.
Oh.
I think via our combined magical abilities, the fact that we are a foreign body to a land that seems to be living on collecting them, that we can force some sort of magical reaction and be jettisoned from this place.
You know, I'm understandably wary of any plans of yours that involve blowing up.
He kind of laughs slyly and he says, I do not blame you. I would not trust me in your shoes.
Yeah, I don't. What did you do to us anyway?
I didn't do anything. I gave you an opportunity, and unfortunately, people were not in the positions that I had hoped they would be in, and it's backfired. I'm assuming my master still won his conflagration on Ravnica, but I also did not escape unscathed.
He fucking blew us up, man. Like,
Technically,
you had to know that wasn't going to go right.
Technically, your group blew us all up. And no, I did not know it would go right or would go wrong. I trusted you all to be able to complete that mission so I could ensure that Niv Mezit's field was decimated so Nicobolus could do what needed to be done. But you apparently encountered resistance and did what you felt necessary. And I do applaud your willingness to die for the cause, whether you realized it or not. I had no intentions of dying, and I'm sure you didn't. But I'm sure Bolus at least acknowledges our sacrifice.
Did he?
Ravnica.
Had he told us about that part of the plan?
Not really.
Okay. Balder wants.
And you don't really know who Nicobolus is.
Yeah, but can Balder like insight to see if this is bullshit?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
So as you do that, Cortash, what are you doing? You're still a kitty cat.
And
so still a meowster.
I am still a kitty cat. I am not going to dance. I'm just going to kind of sit there and listen and see what happens. Is there any issue with me going into?
You'd have to have someone open the door to let you in.
Oh, I couldn't like scoot in after them as they.
I didn't know you were that close, but if you want to say you were that close, then yeah.
Balder would have held the door open for the kid.
Okay. So you're in and you're listening.
Not a monster. Yet.
So yeah, you can hear all of this take place. Magnar and Roya, you are following from afar. So are you going to cross the street, or are you just going to continue to sort of eyeball it?
I mean, I was within 10 feet of Baldur, so I wasn't. How far back was I? I was closer than Magnar was, wasn't I?
Yeah, but I assumed you didn't, like, I assume you were like, I'm going to act like I'm not following you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not gonna enter the building, but I'm gonna try to.
Act casual.
I mean, is there?
Fly casual. What's that? Just, fly casual.
Yeah, fully casual.
She's just been like reading the menu outside the door for like 10 minutes. She's like, wow, this is super.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could make that with that.
Magnar, what are you doing?
I'm just a dapper goblin. I'm like, hey, look at me here, just sitting here with my hair vest, and oh, look at that guy over there. He's doing some things. That lady just played a violin real well.
I really hope that your dapper hobgoblin comes back.
No, I already told Bria. I was like, I'm keeping him. We just got to name him now.
So no one seems to really be paying that much attention to you. Like, you just seem like another person in New Prudence.
It's on brand. Perfect.
Although a couple people like look by and go, that hobgoblin is a little like he's a little unstable. He's having a conversation with no one. So, Allie, what are you doing as your crowd starts to slowly filter away?
As they kind of finally filter and I can shift my focus, can I see anybody like left around in the group?
You can see a hobgoblin in a tweed jacket and corduroys having a very demonstrative conversation by himself on the street, and you can see Roya, or what you think is probably Roya, across the street in front of a restaurant, looking at a menu and then looking inside, looking at a menu and looking inside.
Real subtle.
You did ask me to make a stealth roll. You just asked me investigation. I could be stealthy right now. You haven't asked.
Check. Make a stealth check.
Oh, maybe. We'll see. 12.
You're not that stealthy.
I feel like a 12's not that obvious though either. Like, I feel like I have like back to the window and I'm kind of trying to watch out of the corner of my eye, but I'm also really not doing anything super obvious to like.
But also like your shoulders showing through the corner of the window.
You're also a cloaked with the hood up blue person.
I am trying to hide the blue with. Remember,
and by hiding the blue, you look way more suspicious.
That can't be true because it's not like there's that many blue people around here.
No, but you are someone who's got the cloak like pulled over their face, Skeletor.
You're on campus looking like an Undertaker druid.
Yeah.
I feel like I pulled that off better than Undertaker, but you know.
Well, young Undertaker, no, but like 50-year-old Undertaker, yes. All right, Allie, what are you? So you see this is kind of what's going on, but you don't currently see Baldur or Kitty Cortash.
Okay. I'm
can't fade back far enough
to disappear.
No, to read the thing he's got up.
8 foot vertical.
Horny for responsibility. There you go. Yeah, after admiring those very dapper corduroy pants, I'm gonna I'm gonna make my way over to Roya.
Okay, you start to head that way.
Mm-hmm.
Magnar, you see Allie starting to head where you know Roya is. The one thing that by doing what you're doing is you've kept any and all attention away from Roya. Because people are just like, what's going on? But
what's his problem?
They're also like, oh, New Prudence. So, you're doing your thing, and like, oh, listen to me when I walk. My corduroys go swish, swish.
It's the best.
It is the best. So you do you want to head over now, or do you want to kind of keep focus on you?
Nah, keep focus on me. I'm over here. Look at that guy over there. He's doing things with his hands.
Fair enough.
Praise.
Kind of love this new guy.
I know. This is very good.
So as you're doing that, Baldur and Cortash, what are you doing?
Balder, so what's the, out of curiosity, what um, the layout of the bistro? So there's like some tables, pretty empty.
There's 8 tables, each with 3 chairs.
Mhm.
There's like a counter. Behind it, there appears to be like a station for brewing, and then there appears to be a small kitchen in the back. There also appears to be a bathroom down the hallway, like towards you have like the dining area, and then a short hallway like 10 feet um, by 5 feet, and there appears to be a door out the back, and then a bathroom on one side.
Okay.
It's not a big room.
Sure. And the only other person seems to be here is this like owner chef dude.
Gerald.
Okay. Gerald. So yeah, I rolled a 17 on insight.
He is being pretty earnest about things. There doesn't appear to be much deception about anything. He seems to be very front forward about it. And he even says, on Ravnica, I did not make you or any of your companions do anything that you did not want to do. I simply gave you tools and opportunity to be a part of something greater than yourselves, much as I had to be a part of something greater than myself. In the end, we all paid a horrible cost for it. But I would tell you this. I will tell you this. I would do it again. Because if we accomplished what I think we did, then Nicol Bolas is a god once again. And I have no doubt that he's scouring through the multiverse to attempt to find me. I'm a loyal servant. And if we can get out of here, we can draw his attention and be brought back into the fold. You literally sacrificed yourself for the cause. How can he not see that as anything else but loyalty?
Who the fuck is Nicol Bolas?
He kind of smiles. He holds his metal hand out, and it forms into this dragon with a strange looking kind of crownish thing on its head with a floating ball of light above it. He's older than almost anything else in our multiverse, a being of unbelievable power. He has conquered universe after universe under his heel, and then his godhood was stolen from him. And he was a planeswalker, the greatest planeswalker, the most powerful planeswalker, but just a planeswalker. So his goal was to get back what was stolen from him, and that was his godhood. Those of us who aligned with him would be given ample reward in this life and potential immortality.
Yeah, is that wasn't our plan at all. Like we signed up because we hated our jobs and our lab was doing horrendous shit to people and demons and we wanted to stop that, and that was kind of what we agreed to. So what
you did, but you stopped it. We stopped it, and in the process, we gave rise to something greater.
What happened?
Well, if all went to plan, and I'm sure it did, as Bolas has been planning this for hundreds of years, he lured the other planeswalkers to Ravnica, cut off their escape, killed them, and harnessed their power to regain his godhood. So people like Jace Beleren, who was your living guild pack, who did nothing for any of the people in your positions, and even the people below him, nothing. He left you time after time after time to be under the boot heel of mediocrity in each and every guild. He did nothing for Ravnica. He and his allies would be crushed under heel in order to give Bolas back what was always his.
That's a lot.
And then
Um,
Bolus would give Ravnica and every other world a fresh start. And they would have a true god to worship, not a living guild pack, not 10 guilds that would just assume stab each other in the back and then work together for the betterment of all.
So he doesn't seem sorry.
Tezzeret,
No. Yeah, Tezzeret.
make me an insight check.
20. Not natural, just 20.
He doesn't seem sorry about the end result. There's a small bit of zealotry involved in this. What he does seem sorry about is that all of you ended up here. Budrick.
He
Yeah,
sees
so that was me trying to use my mind link. I'm going to use that to say to Balder, I don't know that we're going to get anywhere with him. He doesn't seem all that helpful right now. And I'll use a bonus action so you can respond. Balder
replies, yeah, no shit.
All right.
Balder, so Balder gets the vibe from the story that Tezzeret is telling that, like, the whole city blew up, or like
not the whole city, but you get the impression that
it had
there was a magical catastrophe, and there was probably a pretty high body count, but probably mainly planeswalkers who were lured to that world.
Okay, and Balder's still feeling pretty pissed off, or has that?
And that's up to you, because that kind of effect is gone. So it's up to you how you feel about that. But what he's telling
he isn't feeling like magically pissed off.
No,
in addition to however pissed off.
No, yeah, he's not feeling that magical ire any longer.
Mm-hmm.
But what he's telling you basically is that you assisted him in assisting his master. And in doing so, if you're able to work together to leave the domains, you would be found. That Bolus would find you because he would be with him. And that you'd be guaranteed basically a reward for assisting him in becoming a god again. And he says, I understand it's a lot to absorb. He shows his arm. I attempted to stand against Nicobolus. I didn't understand everything that he is. And he destroyed me. He is unfathomable in power. But rather than leave me to die, leave me as a message to other planeswalkers, he rebuilt me and showed me purpose. And I, unfortunately, had to find myself here to show true loyalty and to complete my mission. I had no intention for you 5 to perish, or 6 to perish. And I had no intention of us ending up here. I simply wanted to give you what you wanted. And in the process, that got me what I needed. In the end, it would take us all working together to leave here. I have an ally here who can assist with harnessing enough arcane energy for us to hopefully punch through these mists. I offer you that opportunity, just as I offered you the opportunity on Ravnica for what you wanted. I can't promise you that it won't end the same, but that's a risk I am willing to take. I don't want to be stuck in this prison any more than you do.
Yeah. feel like that's conversation I'll have to take back to the group. I'm sure you understand.
And that's fair.
Hey, just sorry, it's been a long day. If you'll excuse me for a moment, I gotta go drain the cedar giant.
He just smiles. This is why I hope the food and drink was at least comparable to what we both enjoyed on Ravnica. Anyways, this cup too.
Yeah, no, it was better than most of the shit we ate here. I'll be right back. Just go to the bathroom.
Is this your cat?
It's a cat.
He just looks down at it, and you can kind of see his eyes glow purple, and he says, "Uh-huh."
So how, like, the bathroom's pretty close, right?
Yes.
Like, just down the hallway. Cool. He's gonna drop his keyring in the bathroom,
Okay.
and he's going to say filibuster. He's going to turn into filibuster.
Okay.
The weird. And then he'll walk back out to the table.
He looks at you, and he's eyeing you up, kind of again, a slight sardonic grin.
Just, it's upsetting, I think understandably, that you kind of roped us into something we didn't really agree to. And I feel like, all bullshit aside, we can agree that we didn't really agree to what you set forward. Like, we knew there'd be a body count, but we didn't agree to
Did you
all this
ask?
shit.
I didn't agree to this either. But did you ask, or were you satisfied with the opportunity I gave you? Because I firmly remember you being satisfied with that opportunity, that you and your friends gleefully took that opportunity. I had no intention for any of us to end up here. But the reality is we are. And my actions and your actions got us here. So our actions together could get us out. You can be as upset as you wish to be over your view of how this all occurred, but I have no intention of staying here. That becomes the bottom line of our discussion.
Oh yeah, sure.
You can stay here and live the rest of your days here. I have contemplated it, but I find the potential reward for what I sacrificed on Ravnica, and once again standing in the glory and the might of my master, to be far more appetizing.
I mean, yeah, we agreed, but there's no way we would have known how to ask what all this was. You could have killed the whole city. We agreed. I agreed to do what we were going to do to stop innocent people from dying, from monsters creating war all over the world. And you brought that war to the city.
I didn't do any of that. I simply stopped Niv Mizzet's machine, and then I let a god walk on your world. And it did its will. And its will was to take what had been its.
Alder, under the table, he's going to sort of innocently enough slide his foot along the floor till it touches Tezzereth's foot. Just like, oops.
Make me a stealth check.
Okay. Stealth 20. Oh, sorry, 19.
Okay, yeah, he doesn't notice it, that you can tell.
Cool.
I'm a little bit too busy pontificating upon.
Yeah, I know, man. Jeez. But look, I get the kind of weird compartmentalization you must have had to do.
So Allie and Roya, you noticed that the person who left the table came back as somebody else, as you guys were kind of like slyly looking over your shoulders. Is there anything you want to do in the interim? Roya, you also know that Magnar's on the other side of the street, just being an insane, well-dressed hobgoblin.
Yeah, that's fine. He can draw the attention.
He's drawing all the attention.
I like it.
So Magnar, as you're standing there doing your thing, a young lady in what looks to be like a beat-up ballerina's outfit comes walking over to you, and she says, "I don't recognize you."
Ah, how do you do, young lady? I don't recognize you either.
Are you on my corner?
Oh, if I'm on your corner, let me leave your corner right now. There's a guy over there doing something with a watermelon. I gotta go check it out.
Are you a nutter?
No. Me? No, not me. No, I've never once seen a nut in my life. Where I come from, they don't grow nuts.
She walks up to you and kind of straightens your jacket, straightens your sleeve. She goes, "I like you."
Thank you. I like you too. I like the outfit. It's a little different for me, but I like it.
Down and she goes, "How would you like a job?"
Oh, jobs? Why do you think I have these nice dress suits? Look at these corduroy pants. They make a noise when I walk. Let's do business.
So she looks at you and she goes, "Do you see that woman across the street with the violin?"
Yeah, I do. I do see her over there. I pointed out earlier. She was playing a violin like the chicks do.
She tried to steal from me.
Oh, we don't like stealing around here. Not us. No, no.
You know who likes to steal around here?
No, do tell. Tell.
I do the stealing around here.
Ooh, got ourselves a little thief. I like it. I like to hear it. Tell me more, little ballerina girl.
And I'm always looking for a little bit of muscle to do a job. She looks you up and down. She goes,
"Me?
You're a little bit of muscle."
I'm not any muscle. I'm just a little hobgoblin. No, only 6 feet tall. Just a skinny boy.
You're a lot of muscle.
No, not me.
She reaches into a satchel on her side, and she, between her hands, hands you a dagger, short little dirk. She says, "If you'd like to make a little bit of scratch, you'll just walk your skinny bottom across the street, and you can slide this right between her ribs. Meet me 2 blocks down in the alley, and there's a sack of coin in it for you. Make it real quiet like, and we might be able to do business permanently."
I'm gonna be honest, little lady. Quiet isn't quite my thing. It's hard enough to keep this voice this low when I talk like this. But let me tell you something. That lady over there,
she grabs you and pulls you down. Like you think she's gonna smooch you, and she ties like a thing around your face, like a mask, like a cowboy bandit. Now no one will really know what you look like, and it'll shut you up.
Can't shut me up. Not somebody like me. When you come from where I come from, you never stop talking. That's the whole thing about me.
And Gubbo, crush that violin while you're at it.
Oh, but it's such a beautiful violin. It makes so many sounds, and I think hit points a little bit higher than you think a dagger can do.
She looks at you like she doesn't know what you're talking about. She's like, "I don't understand. You are messed up." "Then bring it to me and we'll sell it."
Ooh, I can do that. I can probably pull that off if we really wanted to make something happen.
"I'll be waiting 2 blocks down in the alley."
All right, give me a little bit of time. I'll work my magic.
She takes a couple steps backwards into the greenery of the quad, and you can hear tiny footsteps as she sprints away. All right. So Allie and Roy, make me a perception check to see at the disadvantage if you saw any of that.
Got it.
God, I'm rolling real bad tonight for my perception. 8.
9.
Yeah, both of you are like too busy doing this. Bad net guy.
Oh no, they got bruschetta on the menu. That sounds real good.
I've never had mud clam before, but I definitely want to try it on a piece of bread. All right, Cortash, Balder, what are you doing?
Balder, does the kitchen have a door?
Yeah, it is a swinging door.
Balder is
Playing
he was playing footsie. He was basically saying, like, I don't know what kind of compartmentalizing you've done to make yourself believe that you didn't play the role you think you did, but.
And he kind of looks at you and he almost looks hurt. And he looks and he goes, I do not understand how you refuse to see your part in it and how much you wanted these things to happen. I have a clear conscience because what I did was for something larger than me. When I speak to those students, I'm not telling them anything that isn't real.
I believe that you believe what you believe, but
I don't believe it. I know it. And that's why I know that if we work in combination, we can escape this prison. I will be honest, I do not have enough magical power to facilitate that. But I know you and your 6 companions, your travelers from Ravnica, we can do this because I have an ally that we can run that power through to boost it.
Balder says, we don't need to worry about escaping this prison. And then he casts Vampiric Touch.
All right.
Through his foot. He has to be touching it.
Do you need to make an attack for that?
Yeah, I make an attack.
All right, make it a disadvantage, please.
Okay. 18.
It works, but it doesn't feel right.
In what way doesn't it feel right?
The energy you're taking does not feel right.
Okay.
How much did you take?
10.
Okay.
Necrotic.
He kind of pulls back and he looks at you kind of shocked. And then he kind of looks at you in like this very morose fashion. I am disappointed.
So
he looks at the cat and he says, I'm not surprised. We're
Balder
not
just
going.
says, Cortash, close the door.
He looks at you, both of you, and he says, we're not doing this here. 2 days. I will meet you in the Undercity, and I will make sure that you know how to get there because I will send one of my, and out from his Gashiki crawls one of those mechanical little bugs. I will send you this. The reason we're doing that is because I have no interest in killing these people. It serves no purpose. And make no mistake about it. You may, and I stress may, be able to fell me. I highly doubt it. But I have the city on my side, and you can't fell them all. But I have no interest in watching them lose their lives for nothing. This isn't Ravnica where there's purpose to the lost life. Whether it be purpose of giving my master back what was stolen from him, or as simple as your dissatisfaction with your job. If you wish to see this ended, we will end it in 2 nights. And we'll end it in the Undercity. where the loss of casual life will be none except for your own. He stands up and he says, "Good day, Balder," and he walks out.
Can I, while he's talking, can I move to the door and shift back?
Yep. He just looks at you. He says, "You can open the door or I can open you." And his hand drops down and his metal hand grows.
All right, I'll move out of the way.
He says, "I'll see you both in 2 nights." And he walks out. And that's where we're going to stop. So, the viewers that we do have who watch this, I just want to be transparent and let you know that Domains of Dread is wrapping up. We'll be wrapping up the story that we've been playing since the beginning. Now, our intrepid group of players / adventurers / characters, we won't be going away. We just might be switching locales in tone. But if you've been following along, you now can see that threads are coming together and our intrepid adventurers from Ravnica are finally getting their opportunity to set things right. And Allie, for better or for worse, is along for the ride. And I will tell you now that our second season, which again will be in a different setting, will have ties to this. So if you've stayed with us for the whole time, there will be continuity, so you don't have to feel like that you've lost, anything in this. It's just a potential new story in a new place with new characters, as well as some ties to what we've all gone through for all these episodes. So strap in, because the next 2 are going to be a wild ride. So I again want to thank everybody for playing, and I'd like you all to go around and tell everybody where you can be found and what you're up to. So Allie, why don't you start?
Find me on Twitter at SmarkyBetch with an E, not an I. You can also follow me over at Married Marks on Twitter. Our podcast is on a little bit of a hiatus while we figure out how we want to move forward with a couple of changes. But you can still come interact and chit chat with us, because I need to talk about these New Japan things. What is happening with Evil?
He's being evil.
He's in Bullet Club now. What?
Yeah, he's being super evil.
Evil
I mean,
2 Notes.
it's in the name.
Yeah, it's straight in the name.
I know.
Watch the product.
Listen, Linda.
It's fair. Anything else you have going on that you want to talk about?
I'm gonna give a shout out to I think you can still get these awesome t-shirts. Black Wrestlers Matter t-shirts, which are amazing. Super awesome, supporting great local cause. I can look up where I purchased it, because I don't remember offhand, because you put me on the spot.
I don't recall where those were those Wham Fam, Balder?
They were.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think they're through. I think they're through the organizer.
Okay.
But I don't remember offhand.
I'm gonna see if I can find it.
While you do that, Roya, where can they find you?
Nowhere.
I'm a riddle wrapped in an enigma.
My house. That's where I am all the
Lockdown.
time.
In a cloak outside their favorite restaurant.
Probably. I'm here. You can, if you really want to chat, you can find me on Facebook.
Nasty Nate, where you be?
Yes, I am at Cubicle Zombie on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find Warrior Oren and I playing at DNDDT podcast.
That's true.
Tasty boys.
Tasty boys.
Or invite. Tell them your business.
I'm Orinvite. You can find me anywhere on the online at Orinvites. You can also find me at the King of the Death matches. I'll be there winning another tournament. You can find me a bunch of places, especially at the carnival. You'll find me at the carnival for ICW No Holds Barred.
Are you doing some type of crazy, like, insane death match coming up?
I'm doing a lot of stupid things. I'm
No,
doing
I mean,
things
like,
with
something
insulation.
Yeah, insulation. And aren't you doing something with lemon juice, you moron?
Yeah, lemon juice. I'm
But
also doing.
you're allergic to citrus.
I am. So this is not. It
Buddy.
might not play well.
No, buddy.
It's also World Series of Electrified Light Tubes, so I'm pumped for that. That I love World Series of, and Electrified Light Tubes is so cool because those light tubes get so stupid hot. And then the Deathmatch Circus is going to be absolutely bonkers as well. But I will plug that again next week.
Perfect. Bother!
Hey, everybody. I am Warrior. You can find me at WarriorMN on Twitter, on Instagram, probably some other places that I forgot about. But those are the two.
LinkedIn.
Yeah, I'm not Warrior MN on LinkedIn. But
That would be amazing if you were. We should just make our D&D characters on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I'll create my D&D LinkedIn. So.
By the way, you should follow Warrior on Twitter at least, because his free NXT names, free NXT tag team finishers, and stuff like that is absolutely a riot all the time.
It's a lot of fun. And if you see some, send it to me. I'll retweet it. But you can, in addition to D&D DDT podcast, I also do stats for the episodes you're watching here, as well as the D&D podcast episodes. So stay tuned for those, usually like day after an episode drops. It's a lot of fun. It's good times. You can see what spells we cast and stuff. If we did cast any.
You can also be a tasty boy.
You can be a tasty boy.
Well,
we'll have to add that to the Patreon.
Yeah.
Like, tasty boy, honorary tasty boy status.
Get your membership card now.
Yep.
Shannon, did you figure out where the shirt is?
I believe the links have been placed in the chat.
Nice.
Perfect.
Which is awesome.
And then additionally, INRI TTRP Theater, there is a Patreon. It is a very high quality Patreon. There's a lot of cool stuff, a lot of exclusive content. There is a monthly game for patrons who want to jump in. There's no commitment necessary. You can jump in, jump out as you like, which is nice. It was a D&D5 reskin of the Temple of Elemental Evil. It is now going to be that same game, but it is going to be run as a cult game, which should be wild and probably not something you're going to find literally anywhere else. So if that interests you in any way, check out the Patreon.
TTRP has got a myriad of great programming, and it's only going to grow and continue to get better and better and better. The people that produce and run games, as well as the people at the top, have dedicated themselves in this whole year, and now moving into our second year, to really putting out the best available content, and now potentially moving into more multimedia and different avenues. I highly advise each and every person to take some time to watch other programs on the network and to get a feel for that, because there's some great DMs, players, and games out there that really deserve your time and attention. Just some fantastic storytelling going on. I am, of course, your King Ginger. I am one part of the HeelTurnRadio collective. I don't know if we've done an episode in a little bit. I know we are probably going to hear pretty soon, potentially talking to some folks who used to work with the now defunct Chikara, who are moving into different areas and reinventing themselves. I know that the Beard and I have quite a bit of feels going on when it comes to wrestling right now. It's a complicated, complex thing that I think people are going through, especially people who have a lot of frustrations, anger, and emotions involved with what people in the wrestling business have done, especially people in places of power. So it's hard to kind of figure out how we want or if we want to continue to talk about that. At the same time, yeah, just we also though don't want to give up on a lot of young people we know who've grown to care about a great deal, both here in the state of Minnesota as well as elsewhere, who want to see things done right, want to make a change to what's happening out there, and want to be positive and turn some things around. And so I'm not sure when we're going to be jumping back into doing weekly episodes of Heel Turn, but I think it'll probably be relatively soon. As for D&D here on TTRP, there will be some additional changes. I'm not ready to talk about them just yet, but we should be doing some additional fun stuff. So I hope you stay tuned. I want to thank Dave Richardson for intro and outro. I want to thank the Beard. He's always with us in his mechanical robot ghost presence. I want to thank each and every one of you who watch, who contribute, who have been with us for one episode or every episode. I want to thank the players, and of course, I want to thank the man behind the scenes pulling all the strings, Casual Doug. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Like I said, it's going to get weird. Bye.
E-